Good afternoon. My name is Kate Valentine. Thank you guys so much for joining us on our webinar today, discussing a smarter way to grow your own practice by offering payroll services to your clients. So we're going to be discussing how you are going to be able to offer payroll services to your small business clients. This is going to be a big value add for them, and this isn't going to make you or give you extra responsibilities for performing constant processing or report filing. You get to keep your clients forever and have the opportunity to build your relationship with them and build up your own practice by offering this. We're going to be talking with the founders and owners, the people that run Payroll Hive today. First off is Ron Valentine. He graduated with his accounting degree in 1981 and then got a master's degree in computer science. He spent 9 years working as a federal auditor, left that in 1998, and he's been operating his own CPA firm since then. His firm processes right now payroll for about 375 companies using the Payroll Hive system. We're also going to be talking with Ben Valentine. Ben is one of the founders of Payroll Hive. He received his accounting degree in 2013. He followed that by attending a technical software programming school. For the past 3 years, he's been working with some of the most talented programmers I've ever met, developing the software that drives Payroll Hive system. So I want to say welcome to Ben and Ron, and we'll let you guys take it from here.
Thank you, Kate, and thank you for joining us. We hope that the next 30 minutes will be worthwhile to you. When I attend webinars, I usually have a little notepad in front of me, and I jot down highlights and notes, and then off in the right-hand margin, I like to create a little to-do list for myself. So I'm really creating my own action items. So we encourage you to do that also, because learning new ideas doesn't do much good if you don't act on them. So today we're going to be talking about the Payroll Hive system, but throughout the webinar, I'll be referencing some of the different things that we've done to grow our personal accounting practice over the past 30 years.
Yeah. So today I'm just going to go over our webinar roadmap here really quick. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're first going to start off on some of the problems that accounts face running payroll. And then we're going to go into the solution that we found, which is Payroll Hive. And then we want to follow that up by explaining how you can grow your personal payroll practice. And then we're going to talk about some of the rates and fees involved with Payroll Hive, and then we're going to end up with a Q&A at the end.
Okay, so about 10 years ago, and I think it was longer than that, probably closer to 15, I realized that the tax software industry was targeting the self-prepared tax return market with products like TurboTax and FastTax. And they were taking a huge market share out of the tax preparation business for individuals. So to keep my tax business vibrant, I decided I needed to focus on small business tax needs instead of individual returns. And with that, I realized that payroll was a huge need for small business owners. Initially, I avoided doing payroll because it was like washing dishes. It had to be done constantly. I really didn't want to be in the office on a Friday afternoon when someone needed to have their payroll done. And I started noticing that banks are always really busy on Friday afternoons because people are cashing their payroll checks. Businesses like to pay their employees on Fridays. Another reason I avoided payroll processing was because the fees were relatively small compared to the constant attention that was needed. I didn't like the software that was available. The good software was very expensive, and the cheap software was just, there's a reason why it's cheap. And with using the cheap software, we had to build a lot of manual processes through spreadsheets and such just to keep track of all the requirements. Another thing that discouraged me from offering payroll was that the requirements keep changing. For instance, now there are requirements for electronic interface with most state governments. As you recall, a few years ago, the IRS required that all payroll deposits now have to be made electronically. Gone are the days when you can send in a payroll check to the IRS. They can actually penalize you for paying by check. And then the fifth thing is I really wanted to be able to provide a service like the big boys, like Paychecks and ADP. I wanted to be able to do things like direct deposit. I wanted to be able to draft taxes out of my clients' accounts and have these amounts directly going to the government entities. I wanted to have my fees deposited into my account. I didn't want to have to bill my clients and to keep track of the receivables. I looked into some of the so-called partnership programs with the big boys, and I didn't really like turning my clients over to someone else, and I really didn't like their compensation proposals to me. So those are the problems I faced in starting at Payroll.
Okay, so we want to talk about the solution now. So just a little background on the solution we came up with. So when I was in college, one of my professors, he was the head of the accounting department. He had helped all of us students who were looking to start up our own practices. He kind of put on little trainings for us. And I knew I had wanted to do that from back when I was in college because my dad was an accountant. And so we'd go to these classes and he would give us little pointers on how to become our own accountants. And one of the things that he always preached to us was never do payroll yourself. He said it's not profitable. The accountants put way too much time into it, and they don't make enough money on it. Your time's way better spent doing things that are more profitable. Well, this kind of bothered me a little bit, and so he had told us this many times, and so I decided to call up my dad and ask him about it, and he agreed that payroll was very time consuming, and so we went to work trying to solve this problem, a way to make payroll profitable for the accountants. And so we spent a few years designing it, and then we spent many years working with these programmers, and we finally came out with what we called the Payroll Hive, what we call Payroll Hive. So, and one thing to know is our whole idea of this system is to help accountants. Our software and service is really designed around helping the accountants. And so I want to show you a little video here of just kind of an explainer video of how it works. So let me just pull it up here.
When it comes to providing payroll services for your clients, traditionally there have been two options. One, do it yourself by hiring in-house labor, or two, relying on a professional payroll company. With in-house labor, you keep your clients and build your client relationships. That's a good thing. However, you have to pay for overpriced software and expensive labor, waste time dealing with federal and state governments, risk making costly mistakes that diminish both profit and trust, and keep up to date with constantly changing tax laws. Option 2, using a professional payroll company, solves some of these issues. But rather than helping you build your accounting practice, they take it from you, leaving you with a measly referral fee. Simply put, they take the profit out of payroll. Introducing Payroll Hive. We are a third option, the best of both worlds. We give your accounting firm a way to provide payroll services easily while still keeping your clients. With our white label software, you get to be the face of payroll and set your own fees without having to do the work. You'll be provided with the tools and personal training necessary for you to grow your practice. We are exactly what every accountant needs.
All right, let me go back to the presentation here. All right, so now you kind of get an idea of what Payroll Hive is. Let me explain a little bit how it works. So it's a really simple process. The first thing we need to do is we need to decide how involved you would like to be in payroll. So like I mentioned before, the whole system was designed around accountants. So we want to make it easy for you. So you decide how involved in the process you'd like to be. So for example, if you have a client that's been giving you his hours, and he doesn't want to change things, he doesn't want to give it straight to us, then you can get the hours and then send them to us. We're going to customize it to you. So we can handle individual cases of each one of your clients because we know how people can be kind of stingy on how they like to do things. And so the next thing we need to do is get your company set up. And so what we do for this is we'll get your company logo, and we're going to create logins for all of your companies, all your employees. And with those logins, they'll be able to log in to the software, and they'll be able to get their payroll summaries. They'll be able to get their pay stubs. So from those logins, they'll be able to get all their information to make it easier for them and for you.
So Ben, let me cut in here.
Yeah.
So when we do taxes at the end of the year, the big thing that we want to do is we want to get the W-3. We want to be able to, because most people bring in a QuickBooks file and it shows their net wages. It doesn't show the gross wages. So we can just log in, grab that information so that we can get that tax return.
Exactly.
Information. Good.
Yeah. And the accountant can do that, but also if you don't want to deal with it, we'll do it for you. We can go directly to your clients. So exactly how you want to do it. The next thing that we want to do is that's about it. We handle your payroll processing from here. So we handle all your report filing, quarterly reports, year-end filing, so you don't have to. And then that's it. We do the payroll and you get paid. So it's a fairly simple process. And I want to explain a little bit better on how that works. So I'm going to go and I'm going to pull up here a fake company we made with a login, and then we will show you kind of how that works. So give me 1 second here to pull it up. So this is a fake company we made, G&G. So that would be the accountant, G&G Accounting. One thing to note is we made the accountant's login and the company's logins really basic, so that it's really easy for you to use, and there's not a lot of information. We cut out all the information that you don't need. So here would be a list of all your companies, and you can go to a company. You can see the company information. You can see all the employees. You can see the historical payroll that's been run. And then if you click on the payroll, then it'll load up the payroll summary in a PDF form, so you can print it, you can download it, you can email it. Makes it easy to work with. And then we've also added a way for companies to enter in hours. So here on this page, you can go in and enter in hours for your employees and deductions and all the things you need to enter in. And then anything that would be unusual, you can add instructions for the payroll processors. And then once you have it all set up, you can just submit it, and we will receive that and process payroll for you. And so one thing to note is you can enter in the hours, or your clients can, or you can just send the hours to us. We really do customize it for you. So it's pretty easy to use. And that's just a little bit on how that works. One thing to note is if you do go to the employee, you can see their individual pay stubs also. So a lot of times you'll get one employee that wants their pay stub for a certain payroll, and we can print it and download it here.
Yeah, a lot of times we get requests because they're refinancing their house, and the mortgage company wants pay stubs.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, so let's head back to the PowerPoint here, and we'll get going.
So for the next few minutes, I want to talk about just a few of the things that I did in my personal accounting practice to help me grow the payroll side of it. I also want to touch up on why you should be running payroll. We estimate that each payroll client is worth between $800 to $2,000 a year to you for the rest of your life, really. So as long as you're processing the payroll. So for example, we do 375 clients, and that brings in about $40,000 a month into our firm, just doing the payroll. So it makes sense to start pulling in prospective payroll clients. The first thing you want to do is let all of your clients know that you're looking for payroll business. So I remember when I first started to look for this kind of work, I picked up 8 new clients in a month just from my current client list. Their response to me was that they didn't know that we would do payroll. They would much rather work with us, their accountant, than a sales rep from one of the big payroll firms. So here are some ideas to get the word out to your clients. Number one, you can just simply add a line in your tax prep letter stating that you do payroll. So this slide here, we use Lacert, and so we've customized the letterhead. You can see that looks a little bit different than the Lacert boilerplate letterhead. And then we have just a little PS at the bottom of the letter. It just lets people know that we do payroll services and would love to give them a quote. And we can usually match and beat every quote we get. Even better, sometimes, some years we've actually put flyers in with the tax prep package that explains some of our other services. We can send out a short email to your clients stating that your firm is offering payroll processing services now. One thing that we do in our conference rooms, we have posters. And so these are actual pictures of posters that we have in our conference room, and it just gets the word out that we do payroll and we're looking for payroll work. The next thing I suggest is that you go through your Schedule C clients and contact all that are netting more than about $40,000 a year. I'd like to explain to our clients about the self-employment tax and that they could possibly save taxes by operating as an S corporation and recharacterizing some of their earned income as unearned income. And we generally will pick up about 10 payroll clients a year that are single shareholder S corps. And then another thing we like to do is educate our clients on the difference between an employee and an independent contractor. We find that many small companies are not very compliant with this. They pay their employees as independent contractors, and many times they are relieved because they know that they are doing it wrong, and now that they can start doing it right, and we can help correct them by doing payroll for these people.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about some email marketing and asking for referrals. So email is a great way to just keep that door of communication open with your clients. And there's a lot of different things that can be done. We use an email service to send out email blasts to our clients, and it just helps us communicate with our clients. And people seem to respond really well to it. So I've listed 3 free ones on here. There's a ton of them out there, and most of them work really well. But here's a couple: MailChimp, HubSpot, and Wix Shoutout. They're all 3 are free and easy to use. So if you're not using one, you should look into that because it's been really great for us. And one important thing that you should do in these email blasts is ask for referrals. We've seen a really good response from people when we just ask for a referral. And I included just an example of an email. You can really write whatever you want. You will see way better results when you personalize the email. And people can tell when you're being genuine. Just be genuine and talk to them like they're your friends. And we've seen, like I said, we've seen a really good response from just asking for referrals. People are happy to give us business. Next thing I want to talk about is becoming your local professional. So this is something that not a lot of people are doing, but we started doing it a few years back, and we've seen really good response from it. And I'm referring to the accounting practice at this point, and that's establishing yourself as the local expert. So one thing you can do is go to the local business development centers and just ask for referrals. There's so many of these business development centers, and companies just come in to try and get business help, and they need accountants. And so if you go and get to know the people that are in those development centers, you're going to get a lot of referrals from that. Another thing is to put on business workshops. So this is another thing that we've done in our office, and it has been really good for us. We have a space in our office where we put on these workshops. We send out flyers the day before or the week before and let people know that we're doing this workshop. And we offer free lunch, and we teach on either bookkeeping or the Affordable Care Act or Medicare options. You can talk about anything. We've talked about a lot of different topics, and people will come. They'll come for the free lunch. They'll come to learn how to grow their business. And it seems like every time we get referrals from it, or people just sign up because they get comfortable coming into our office. They get to know us. They get to trust us. That's been a really big one that you should start doing if you're not doing that.
Can I jump in, Ben?
Yeah.
So 2 days ago, I had someone come into the office. He's a real estate agent, and he's in charge of the training for his brokerage. They do a training class every Monday, he said. And so I just asked him, would you mind? Would it be okay if I came and talked to your realtors about the new tax law changes? And so we've got that set up. So I'll go talk to him, and of course we're going to talk about the Section 199A changes. We're going to, we'll get into S corps, and just those things happen, and people start giving you their business.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and the last thing that I just want to touch up here on this workshops is going to your city to do a workshop. So a lot of cities will put on business workshops, and we just went to our city and we just asked them if we could speak, and we spoke about I can't even remember now, but just different accounting things. And just because of that, we established ourselves as the expert in the area, and we get a lot of people coming in because they heard us speak at the city or they've been to one of our workshops. So that's been a really good thing for us. Next thing I want to talk about, now that we've talked about ways that you can grow your payroll practice, I want to talk about reasons you should be using Payroll Hive. And the first thing I want to talk about is time is money. For those of you that have ran payroll before, you know how time consuming it is and how many countless hours you spend running payroll, filing the reports, making sure you get things done on time. It's time consuming. And with Payroll Hive, you don't need to worry about that anymore. We take care of all that so that you don't have to waste your time on that, and you can spend more time doing more lucrative things. The next thing is government compliance, and we guarantee our work. So no longer you have to worry about what are the filing requirements, because they're changing all the time, and sometimes you have to do things e-file and you can't paper file anymore. You don't need to worry about that because we're going to take care of all of that for you.
And sometimes it's not so much the law change, it's just the interface. It's you need to go to a different website to transfer the money, and
things are always changing, and it's a headache. So you won't have to worry about that anymore. The next reason you should be using Payroll Hive is fast and secure payments. We do almost everything through ACH direct depositing, meaning when payments go through a secure portal, they happen quickly, and they go directly into your bank account. No longer you're not going to have to go bill your clients anymore, because it's just going to be directly deposited into your account. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a few minutes. But next thing is business growth help. So we grow when you grow. And so we're really invested in helping you grow your payroll practice. We do everything we can to help you market it, to grow it, because the more clients you get, the better off we are. So we're going to be with you the whole way, the whole process, to help you grow your payroll empire. And then the last thing is peace of mind. And that kind of speaks for itself. No longer you don't have to worry about doing payroll on a Friday night anymore. We're going to handle all that for you. You can go take the evening off and go golfing. It's not a problem. So you can have peace of mind with Payroll Hive. So I want to talk a little bit about the Hive rates and fees. The first thing is it would be a per payroll fee of $14.85. And then if you had 2 employees on that payroll, it'd be another 65 cents times 2. And so that would end up being, let's see, so it'd be $16.15 for that one payroll. And then we also have an additional charge we do a one-time charge for quarterly, so every quarter, and then the year-end filing, and there's also a per employee fee on there. So that's how our billing goes. And if you have any questions about that, you can post those questions in the chat, and we'll answer them later. And one thing to note about this is a lot of the other payroll softwares, they set up their fees, and then there's these additional fees that they tack on, these little hidden fees that you get hit with later on. And we don't do that. This is exactly how we're going to bill. Here's just a little example that I made of what you could charge.
And these rates are geared kind of what Paychex or ADP would charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
so
maybe a little bit less.
And like I said, so you have full control on what you want to charge. So you can put whatever rates you want in there. This is just an example because I wanted to show you how much you can be earning with the Hive system. So and this is just this example here. Just I've written it up here that it uses some averages and makes some assumptions that all the companies are on the same pay cycle, which of course is not the case. But it just gives you an example. If you had 20 companies with an average of 6 employees each, you could be making an additional $16,000 every year. And the thing to note about that is you don't have to be doing the work. We're going to be doing the majority of the work. So that's just on top of everything. The only thing you need to do is bring in the clients, and which we'll be helping you with also.
Ben, does this factor in the additional cost stuff?
It does not, no.
So it's actually going to be more than that.
Yeah, it has a little bit. I added a little bit here, if you can see. But yeah, it will, in almost all the cases, will be more than that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of how our billing works. And we'll, like I said, if you have questions about this, we can answer more about this here in a minute. But let's get back to the PowerPoint here.
Okay. It seems like I often meet with people who are gearing up for retirement, and they're pretty excited to start getting their Social Security retirement check, their $2,000 or $3,000 a month retirement check for the rest of their life. Just think of it, you accountants with your payroll practice are actually setting up an annuity for yourself that can bring you thousands a month for the rest of your life with your involvement in Payroll Hive without actually doing the work. You can still receive these fees after you retire, as long as we're processing that company's payroll.
Yeah, and we've seen a really great response from our current affiliates. They've loved it, and it's been really helpful to them. So we're doing a special deal, special promo for all those that decided to attend this webinar with us. We're glad you're here and came. And so normally we have to charge a $750 sign-up fee because we have to get our programmers to set up your custom logins, and we got to do all your company data entry. But today we're going to do a special deal. We're going to reduce that down to just $50. So go to this link here. And sign up, and we're gonna waive that. We're gonna cut $700 off of that. And one thing I just wanted to note about that is we're not gonna bill you right off the bat. After we get you all set up, that's when we'll charge you the $50. So you don't need to worry about putting any credit card information in right now or anything like that. We just we don't want to make the process hard for you at all. And so go sign up, and then we will send you an email back, and we'll talk to you more about getting you set up in the system. Last thing, we want to end up with some commonly asked questions, things that we get. A lot of questions people usually ask us. And so the first question is do you have services for state and local taxes? And the answer to that is yes, we do. In most states, we do. And most local taxes, we do. There are a few that we don't have quite on the system yet, which is why when you're signing up there on that promo page, you're going to see we ask what states you're a part of. That's just to make sure that we can handle it. But in almost all cases, we do. There's just a few that we're still getting on right now.
And if we don't have it now, we will by the first of the year.
Correct. We have a team of experts getting these the last states and jurisdictions on. So yeah, you don't need to worry about that. The next thing is who takes care of payroll issues. And like mentioned before, is that's entirely up to you. We want to do it how you want to do it. So you can interface with your clients if you'd like to, but if you don't want to deal with any of the issues, we will work directly with them.
Yeah. So one thing we can do is on the company login page where they put their hours and then they see your logo, you're their accountant. We can actually put our phone number as a customer service number right on there so that the companies would deal with us directly if you would prefer.
Correct. And then the last common question we get, and we already mentioned this before, but is do we do direct deposit? And of course we do. We can direct deposit to all your clients if you'd wish. We do have a lot of clients that like to still print checks. And so we offer an option where you can print your own checks for the clients that would like to do that. Or we can send off the PDF and they can print their own checks. So yeah, we offer all those options. And that's about it for us today. We're glad you all came and joined us today on our webinar about Payroll Hive, and we hope to be in contact with you all soon.
Thank you.
You guys can see the contact information right there for Payroll Hive, webinar at payrollhive.com, number 385-236-2974, and the email address, or not the email address, the web address, if you guys are interested in signing up and getting the promotion for setting up today for being a part of the webinar, you can sign up at payrollhive.com/promo. It's just /promo, PROMO. So again, if you guys are interested in signing up, go that route, give them a call, work out any other questions or concerns you might have. I think this could be huge for anyone that is running their own accounting firm to be able to go to your small businesses that you're already providing service for and to be able to give them the option to run payroll through you too. Everyone, thank you guys so much for spending time with us. Have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend as well, as since tomorrow's Friday. So weekend's pretty much here. Thanks. Bye.